Hi, good day. My name is Keisha Rollins from Care Nursing Agency. On December 14, 1990, the United Nations General Assembly voted to establish October 1st as the International Day of Older Persons. The holiday was observed for the first time October 1st in 1991. This holiday celebrates by raising awareness about issues affecting the elderly, such as aging and elder abuse. It also is a day to participate and appreciate the contributions of the older persons in the society. Let's change the way we think about age and aging. This year, the United Nations International Day of Older Persons centers on the theme Digital Equality for All Ages, which predicts the need for access and meaningful participation in the digital world by older persons. Some of the objectives for this by the WHO are to address digital availability, connectivity, design, affordability, capacity building, infrastructure, and innovation in the areas of public and private interests, to bring awareness of the importance of digital inclusion of older persons while tackling stereotype, prejudice, discrimination, and association with digitalization, taking into account social cultural norms and the right to autonomy, to highlight policies to leverage digital technologies for full achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. Also to explore the role of policies and legal framework to ensure privacy and safety of older persons in the digital world. To ensure and promote an intersectional, person-centered human rights approach for a society of all ages, taking into account the existing and non-existing legal instruments in the field of organization and digitalization. This was quoted from the WHO website. Now guys, we have to change the way aging is done, or the way we think about aging and older persons in our society. I think this is a very good theme because it brings to the forefront that older persons need to be a part of the moving technologies of today's world, and leaving them out shouldn't ever be an option. How can we go about this smartly, safely, and without spending much? Now, the internet is a powerful tool, as we all know, because we have used this tool in light of the situation with COVID-19. Getting into the homes of persons was a big deal without putting yourself at risk. So the internet played a major role in how we can go about this. And so for the elderly, this too can apply. The internet, along with Bluetooth and YouTube and stuff like this, could help promote awareness not only of illnesses and bring a little happiness along the way. So a smartphone, you might wonder, why would mommy need that? At this day and age, in this time, it is essential. Getting a smartphone for the older person, bear in mind, older doesn't have to mean bedridden and sick. We are all aging, so older persons over, I think it's 65, I usually use from 55. Once you're older and you're aged, you are slowed down. So having a smartphone is a big deal at this point because it keeps you in touch with your loved ones and you don't have to worry about it. It don't have to be a long, lengthy call. It can just be a little quick 5 minutes message once they can see properly, of course. And there are magnifying glasses you can buy now with the lights, so you can zoom in and they can see properly if they have to interact with you while you're out at work or just busy for the day. So the smartphone is a really important tool, and they have those now that has the numbers that are really large, so that the person will be able to visualize what they want, especially if they're typing. And of course, you'll introduce them to the WhatsApp platform or the Messenger platform or the plain old regular text messages platform. So the smartphone can be utilized efficiently and safely. What you can do also is ask your grandchildren or someone who is more phone savvy or more technological to sit with the loved one, the older loved one, and to tell them about it. Enhance their ability to want it. Make them feel like, yes, Granny, you're going to be connected to us no matter where we are. Because sometimes, even though they don't hear you on the phone, when you make a phone call to say, Mommy, you okay? Granny, you all right? They can actually see you as well. So this tool is very important because they can visualize as well as hear you in your absence, whether it's on the job, I run to the supermarket, anywhere you are, you can stay in touch and be creative about it. So the children in the home, this could foster togetherness for everyone in the home. So the grandchildren don't have to be left out anymore in this instance. This would help bring it together, so to speak, because they'll be encouraged and motivated to show granny how to use the phone. Of course, a smart TV is important too, because they are home, they are bored, and sometimes you turn on the TV and you really forgot to ask them what they really want to see, or you put it on one channel, which is the news, which is so depressing. So why not give them an option? With the smart TV now, they can actually decide what they want to watch, and it can be programmed for them, or they can use the remote to actually, if they know how to do it well enough, if somebody teach them, most older persons will be able to maneuver around, and it will give them something to do, keep their minds active, and it will just make it a wholesome activity in itself, because you're putting the brain to think. Because sometimes I can't even use my TV sometimes because I don't know that the features they have, how effective they are. I haven't had the time to learn. But someone who is home and don't have much to do, but use their brains anyway and think about the old times and stuff like that, you can utilize the TV, the smart TV, so that they can actually have something constructive to do, maneuvering around, taping shows. Like for instance, they're watching a show but they want to see that other one at this time, but this one is so much better, so but they want to see that later. You can use a smartphone to tape, and then later they watch, and they can do it themselves if you just have somebody who is in the family. If you don't have anybody who is in the family who is computer or technological, you can get someone. It's only a 1 or 2, 3 lessons, and I'm sure they will get it once they fully understand. And don't be upset if they don't, because their understanding might be limited depending on their deficits or depending on the situation. So be gentle and go slow. Okay? One of the other tools they can use is a tablet, a laptop, or the desktop. It depends on the person you're caring for. Your loved one might more be prone to sit and do stuff and be comfortable, so they might want to be on a desktop if you have that availability. But they might also feel, oh, I don't want to be by a table, I just want to be just here in my room. They can use a laptop. But for those who are maybe bedridden or not bedridden, so they don't have their cognitive impaired, no cognitive impairment is there, their brains are fully stimulated, they can talk, they can reason, then they can just lie up in their bed and use a tablet. It will be less, it won't be as heavy as a laptop, and they can just put it right there and use a pillow and prop it up. And they have those nice cases now where you can prop it up even on the bed. So these are devices and tools that, depending on the needs of the loved one you have, depending on what their cognitive difficulties might be, as long as their hands work, they can still utilize these devices. But let's say, for example, they have problems with their physical being, so they can't use the tablet, they can't function in their hands to change and maneuver and, set what they want. Then they can tell you, or you will know them best, and then you still utilize the device, because it will bring awareness for them. They will be learning things or viewing things that they will be like in the aha moments, because they're not going outside like before. And of course, we understand why the need to not be outside as much because of COVID-19, but at the same time, they can still view St. Kitts if they have a nice commercial out, a late one, a recent one. They can view it and say, wow, that's how it looks now. That's where Park Hyatt is. Because these are things that have happened, and maybe they didn't get a chance to see, and now COVID is here and it's even worse. So all the places that are enhanced in our setting, you can show them. And what if they were a traveler before and they commuted every year to the States or to England to have a little relaxation, but they can't anymore because of the situation? You can show them little commercials and stuff from this place where they usually go, so they can still feel involved. It helps to create a feeling of aha, yes, but involvement, and they will see that you're trying to bring the outside world into their home. The radio, now everybody knows, an older person, even young persons have radio, but one with a USB port would be more accessible, because then you can just slip that pen drive in with all the Calypsonians that they love, and it will be like a whole party in the house. So you can use a USB port to make it more user friendly, because with the radio you can't dictate what goes on that radio. It's whatever is available. But with a USB port, you can always stick that pen drive in and you can have music that they love. So you could create a little album and you can do it periodically. You know, if that one gets boring, you do another one. And that way it keeps them in focus. So then you say, Dad, you don't always have to watch the news every day. You know, you can watch the news, but I have something prepared for you for later. And they'll get excited just to know that you have something prepared for them for later. And they'll always be looking forward to what's the next thing you're going to be preparing for me later. So having an array of albums and different songs that you can, you know, use on the pen drive and then put on the USB port for the radio. Awesome. Some radios are so high-tech you can actually save it on there, so you can free up the pen drive to put other stuff in for them or even for yourself, while they have the stuff you already had created on the radio itself. So these are things you look for. Another one of the things you can look for is a digital album. They have devices now. It's like almost like a tablet, but it's not quite a tablet, but you can view the pictures, the memories, instead of taking up that ugly old heavy album to go through. You don't have to do that. You can just put the pictures on this digital device, and it shows like a screen movie, different areas in the life coming right up to now. So this is like a nice little gift, but shouldn't be given just because it's a birthday or Christmas or whatever. It's like having a wealth of knowledge and memory and creative moments captured. And at any time, they can just play this device when they're feeling down. Some of them are so high-tech, you can add music, soft, soothing music. So if they ever feel down, they just pick up that digital device, which is their album, and they look over all the precious memories. And you can put it to go slow so they can savor the moment of each picture, okay? Now, there's another device you can use. It's surveillance. Surveillance can have its place in the home, because people out there are doing surveillance in the home now for safety reasons. But what about if we use surveillance in the home for a livelihood, for fun? Even though you're monitoring your parents or your loved one, you can still use surveillance as a tool to say, hi mom, because they can hear you. There are intercoms, so you can press and say, hi mom, and you're at work and she's in the home and she say hi, and you can hear her right back. And then if you want to, you can visualize seeing her and seeing how she's doing, but you can say something to her through surveillance. There are a lot of high-tech stuff that can be used. One of them I should add here is the Alexa. It does a lot of stuff. Put on the radio, turn on the lights. So imagine having one of those in the home. It's not just for America, you know. It is used right here in St. Kitts, where you can say, Mom, if you need to have Alexa turn on the radio, you can say, Alexa, turn the radio on. If you need to have Alexa turn on the lights, you can say, Alexa, I need you to turn on the lights. These can be utilized by the elderly loved one or the older loved one in your home. Now, why is this all important? I'm aged, I don't need those stuff. That's wrong. Thinking that way, that's why we have to change our mindset towards age and aging. We are accustomed to a way of life, and then COVID happened, and then everything had to be adjusted, and we are still in the process of adjusting to meet needs and demands and goals, and everyone has different goals. My goal might be different. I might never travel again because that's just what I want. I just don't want to go through the fuss. Someone else's goal is just traveling less now. Of course, we're being cautious because we don't know what's happening. A lot of changes are being made. Somebody else's goal is to just not have to be leaving their house anymore because it's just too burdensome. Everybody has challenges at this point, but what are we going to do about it? Shutting us in, even though we are not aged to the point of having difficulties with ambulation and stuff like that, some persons just don't go out of their homes. Why? It's our job as loved ones to create that atmosphere. Even though COVID is here with us and would be probably with us for a very, very long time, it's our role as caregivers, as loved ones, as family partners and everything to create an ambiance for our loved ones, aged or not. But for the aged, they are more susceptible to depression. This is a big deal because a lot of shut-ins became shut-ins only because of COVID. They weren't that way before, and it continued even now. Even if we have limitations on what we can do when we go out of doors, we still have to create that ambiance in the home. And how effective can this be? It will relieve depression. It will relieve some stress, because stress affects how we feel. And therefore, if we are stressed, we wouldn't want to go out anyway. So the digital world is going to be happening regardless of us wanting it to or not. It's the way to go now to get things done. And why don't we enjoy our time doing it, but share it with our loved ones, our older loved ones? That's the whole thing. Most of the population are aging at this point. Yes, the studies have shown that we are aging fast and actually living longer. So the younger people might be dying, but the older ones they are here. So what are we going to do about it? We don't want to wait, and then we have crises on our hands. We already are in a pandemic. So why don't we create the atmosphere at home that everyone would enjoy, not just yourself, but your loved one? Why can't Granny help with a project? Because Granny has a little knowledge about the computer now. She didn't have it before. She didn't care for that. But because you spend a little time showing Granny what to do, she might just have ideas that will blow you away. Remember, the older persons have a wealth of information. To sit with them is an honor, because you learn so much. And sometimes you only get to sit with them sometimes. What if you invest time in sitting with them and showing them how to do things? You might be surprised at what they teach you, because I am surprised at what I've learned. So imagine persons who have people who are more, into what they're doing and really eager to learn. It makes you feel happy, one, and it brings an awareness that they are part of us still. Why not enjoy ourselves with our Granny and create more memories? Because Granny can actually do something besides just being there in bed. And that's the thing. Sometimes as loved ones, we have our loved ones, and we are caregivers, all of us. It doesn't matter whether you're a professional caregiver or a caregiver in the home. We are caregivers nonetheless, and we are the ones they look to bring that difference. And the day-to-day toll on us, sometimes we don't have the time to create anything different. We just fall into a routine. I'm going to tell you, routines are good, because to be successful, you have to have a routine, how you're going to go about what you're going to go about. But routine sometimes creates disharmony. It has its negative. It has a lot of positive, but we're not speaking about the positive at this point. The negative setback to routine is like people get the feeling that there's no caring involved. It's just, mechanical. And when the elderly gets this feeling, they don't share it, They become silent. And sometimes they even say they don't want to be a burden. Very few voice their feelings, because it's to voice it is like a disrespect to them. I shouldn't say that, because I'm being fed. So if I say that, it would be as if I'm ungrateful. Nothing could be far from the truth. But how do we get them to know that? You don't know they're thinking that in the first place, but they are. And because now we are bringing awareness to this, this is our chance to do something about it. You don't have to say, Mommy, I know you're thinking all kind of things there and you need to stop thinking. No. You say, Mommy, you okay? Because I have something to show you. And then you pull out your tablet, say, look at this, look at that. Especially if you show them old pictures of, loved ones that they haven't seen in a while. It creates a whole conversation. And if you do this every single day, you say, Mommy, you can touch it too. You can touch. Granny, go ahead, press it. And then she's going to feel so intimidated, because it might be overwhelming at first. But if you come with that patience, of course we need that. And if you come with that positive vibes, that, that positive energy, it moves mountains. And these persons who are ill or not, but they are aged and home, can't do much, don't have a job anymore, they are retired. They feel they are not contributing to the society anymore, and that's sad because we have a lot of people in the homes right now and they are not ill. They have ailments of aging, which is normal because we all do. Even at 30, 40, we having aches and pains and arthritis. And the aged person sometimes don't even suffer from some of what we have as young people. But yet they're home, not going anywhere. Why? Why are you not taking your granny out to a little drive around the countryside and then you stop at one of those nice restaurants and have a little lunch? Of course, using their masks and having to sanitize. Why are we not doing that anymore? Why are we making it worse? The insane case, we don't see much suicide. We have seen it, but not as much. And sometimes in the outer world, older persons kill themselves on a daily basis because of depression. They feel like they're a burden and they want to relieve your burden because they're thinking you are having the burden when you're really not. You're just in a routine. And your routine is safe, comfortable, it's predictable. And they don't know that, so they feel like, oh my God, I'm making it worse. And they kill themselves over petty stuff, okay? When you're just in a routine. Routines are easy, it's predictable, as I say, but it's not always harmonious. It creates barriers right away. It creates an atmosphere of non-communication because nobody wants to communicate in a situation like that. They feel like they shouldn't or they can't, and therefore they won't. So we have to now recognize as caregivers, as family members, as nurses, that we are the ones to break these barriers. How do we do that? We do that by realizing and recognizing that they are there, they exist. And then because we already know we're going to go to our granny and our grandma and our older uncle and our cousin Jane, we're going to say, okay, let's do something about this. You might know what Jane likes. Start offering to have, you know, that cheat day where you have that little ice cream that once a week. Yeah. Auntie Jane loves ice cream, but she just happens to be diabetic. Talk it over with her doctor. Say, can I just give her some ice cream once in a while? It will make her happy. I'm sure your doctor would not say no, but have a discussion about it. So what I'm saying is the things that you know your loved ones do like and enjoy, do something about it to create an atmosphere where they can get involved digitally. Like I said, if they love to reminisce, get the album out, put all the albums on the digital. Whether it's a TV, it can be the TV as well. And these devices are not expensive. That's another thing. They are more affordable than ever because it's demanding of us to have these things now. It's like if you don't have it, you are behind. Not that you have to be in the forefront of everything, but technology is moving us in directions we have never been before. Look at it. We can see our loved ones who are miles away, millions of miles away, and we can still see them. They are on the other side of the world, and we can still view them and talk. The only thing we can't do is touch. Soon somebody gonna make something we could touch. Until then, we can just see and hear. But the feeling we get inside, it's unimaginable for someone who have never seen someone for 5 years and then all of a sudden they're popping up on this device. It's like, wow, I can see you. Imagine they can do that on their own without you even having to help. It will make them feel empowered. Older persons want to be involved in all ways, but we don't tell them, yes, come on and let's help. You don't ask them to help, so they don't think they need to help. If you only bring the topic up, you'll see how much information you get. Share a topic with your grandmother or grandfather or auntie. Say, auntie, you know, and this is what happening, you know, and what you think? You'll be shocked because maybe what you are thinking is the same way they're thinking, or they have a different way of thinking. And then you ask, why you think like that? Because you realize your thinking is different, and they'll tell you the reason why. Have a conversation. It stimulates the brain cells so they can keep functioning properly. Have the kids involved. The kids know more about the computer and technology than us. Sometimes they're teaching us how to do things. Have the kids come, maybe you could learn a thing or two. And it fosters a togetherness, you know. And go slow and be patient, because they will falter, they'll make mistakes. Of course, with technology, we have to think about risks. And there are hackers out there. There are people who can steal your information and actually use it to portray themselves as you. St. Kitts is small, but St. Kitts is not far from having things like this being done. It's happening all over the world, and anything that is happening all over the world can come to our shores and doors. So we have to be careful with even privacy, you know, and confidentiality. So we have to make sure these devices are properly secured. We have to make sure they are monitored properly to make sure that nothing is moving or using illegally, or you know, you have persons visiting your home, so you want to make sure that you are able to put these devices away in a safe place and ask your loved one to use them in a safe manner as well, because you can help them to learn to use it, but you have to encourage them, tell them the dangers out there, to be careful with who they respond to, be careful in who they give their information to. As you know, with anything that is good, somebody will make a bad out of it. Just give them time. And it's surprising that a lot of things are happening even right here, and a lot of people don't know. We have to be careful anywhere and everywhere we are, no matter what we do. Even to take a simple picture is not so simple anymore. It's stored somewhere, and even you delete, it's not deleting. So that's just to show you the magnitude of the internet and the power of technology. So it has its place, and this team for International Day is bringing it to the surface that we should encourage and motivate and inspire the elders to be a part of it. Because if we do that, we might realize that we are making more mistakes by not sharing. But when we do share, we realize that we get more back. You always get more back when you share, and you will get more back from learning about what they think about things than we on our own. We are just here, we just come the other day, you know. We are learning, we are in the process of evolving, yes, but we are learning, and the elderly has already built a foundation. They know how it goes, and the Bible says it, and they'll tell you nothing is happening now that hasn't happened before. It's just in a different way. So why not encourage the elders to be a part of all our doings, so that when we have to have a choice or make a decision, we can say, Granny, what you think? Because Granny probably would tell you the right way anyway, and you probably would not be thinking the right way, because you are looking at all the other things outside to make a decision, when Granny just know the one thing she would do is to don't do that. But guess what? You never involve Granny at all. So you don't know, you have nobody to call. You're calling up professionals, you're calling upon friends, you're calling upon the neighbors, you're calling upon your co-workers. Some people don't even have your best interests at heart. They don't. Most times, your loved ones might. Take a chance on them, share with them, involve them. And hopefully, this digital world, even though it's evolving and very progressively and rapidly, we can still look at the positives out of it. There are so many negatives out of it. You would want to not involve anyone in Facebook and in Instagram and Skype and WhatsApp. You would want to shy away from it. Some people don't have them, but you don't have to watch the rest of the world. You can be private and have your fun, and you can be public when you need to. But apart from that, like for me, Facebook is to show the world what's happening with Care Nursing Agency. But privately is my family, very few friends, the loved ones that I don't get to see all the time. It's like a little reunion when we're on there. We share, and it brings you joy. It brings me joy. So people do things for different reasons. So having to share with the elderly and know that these things can be a hazard, a danger, a problem, doesn't mean that you don't use them to your advantage. You know, I talk about the smart TV. I don't watch TV at all. I'm just not that type. I read. But that don't mean that if I have to use the technology at some point to assist me in what I'm doing with Care Nursing Agency, I would not use it. But I would have to be learning now because I'm not that, you know, computer savvy. But I will learn if I have to. That's the point. And you don't have to wait to show anyone anything. Just pique their interest. Have a conversation. Man, show them the phone. Show them the tablet. And that's the thing. You don't know until you actually introduce it to them. Don't bring the negativity. And if they already know about negativity, say, Mommy, just put that aside. If you're on Facebook, you can now talk to your sister in England. Share with her, send her a bouquet of flowers because it's free. And you can still see her sometimes when she's going to church because she might be the one that is going out and your mother is home as a shut-in. She can share with her the memories of going out. Send a little pic on WhatsApp or do a live video so she can see your mom, which is your aunt. Right there, you have created an atmosphere for your mom to look forward to. You have created the ambiance in the home that makes her feel like she's not even at home. That's the point here. The digital world makes you think and feel how you have never felt before and how you have never thought before. Why should you as young people, or why should us have all that goodness and we haven't been sharing it with the elders? Why are you cooling out in your bed having a chill day with Netflix and Granny just in her room just there? Why? No, she said, Granny, we Netflixing today and we chilling. Yeah, Granny gonna have her tea and you could have your wine, but Granny might ask for some wine too. The point is, we can't do anything about anything if we don't know. That's why Care Nursing Agency is here to bring awareness to many topics. And the reason why we bring awareness to many topics is because somebody probably needed to hear it, even if it's one. And it's important that we all share in whatever information that we get. And bringing it to our TV viewers out there, it means that we care because people watch ZIZ, people look at the news, people want to know what's happening. And we are hearing so much about COVID-19, and that's okay, but people want to know about other things too. They want to know about what's happening in my house. What's happening in my house is that I'm very depressed. I can't go outside now. I used to be able to go to the market. I can't really do that anymore. My granddaughter don't want me to, but yet she brings the market home to me. She shows me all sorts of pictures about all sorts of things. And I can actually go online and talk to my other auntie or my other sister way in England or way in the United States. She wouldn't even miss the market anymore. She'll be even telling you what things to go and look for yourself because she saw it on the internet. She wanted to try new dishes that she probably never had, or she said, I didn't know you could try things like this. I didn't know you could try things like that. So all of this is important, okay? And one of the things that we have to think about is how do we make it fun? Because you could want to do something so much, so bad, but you don't know when it's gonna be fun, or you don't know how you could make it fun. That's when you have to do a little thinking now. You might need help along the way, okay, but don't ever be in the thinking phase and never bring it to fruition. The elder loved ones are really suffering in the home, you know, and they're suffering every day because of this. We don't want that to happen to our loved ones. People are dying, and people are dying not just from COVID, but from depression, from stress. But then we will trump it up to normal, natural causes, when it really was just stress or loneliness or depression. And nobody tells you because you don't ask, and you don't even ask to get an answer, because sometimes you will actually tell them, Mommy, stop feeling depressed. You can't just say stop feeling depressed, because you first have to know if they are and why. But not all persons would say. So that's where you have to be creative about it. Okay. One of the things we want to bring awareness to as Care Nursing Agency is a team that brings awareness. We want to make sure the elders know that we love them. How best to do that? Every 1st of October, we highlight that day. It's celebrated worldwide. There are many activities. We have a few here in St. Kitts, but we are always going to give back on that day. We have dedicated that day to the elderly. We can't reach every single elderly person. Last year, we went on a tour. Okay. We had about 240 packages to give away. This year, we're aiming for at least 100 packages. We know that people out there are hungry, they are lonely, they are depressed. They need some sort of something to let them know, yes, I am still here. So this theme that is now gonna be for October month for the elderly is a suitable theme, I think. It's a timely theme, something that I think should have already happened or initiated before, because why are we waiting to make someone's life better when we don't have to put much effort into it? They are already in the home. You don't have to visit anywhere else or go anywhere else to bring awareness to anything. They are there already in the home. Why not create things in the home? Have a game night. They have digital games now, you know. So if Granny loves Ludo, but you can't always be there to play Ludo with her, what do? Show her the Ludo on the internet. Download a Monopoly game, a Scrabble. Keep her brain active. This digital theme incorporates many layers, and in executing a layer after a layer after a layer would open up your horizons to newer and more technological stuff, because then you would be looking for stuff to make life easy for Granny. Maybe if I get this could work for her. And then when you get it and you're really, oh, okay, maybe I should try something else. That's okay. Don't give up because the tool that you chose the first time around didn't really mesh with her. Give her some time. Remember, it's all about cognitive, physical attributes. They have to be able to function physically in their fingers to use the devices. Cognitively, they have to be aware, excited, and willing to try. And don't down them if they don't get it right the first time. Okay? On the 1st of October, we are going to give out packages because we love people. And we recognize that you could say all what you want. If people are hungry, they can't function. If you're hungry, you can't function. And when we get hungry, we feel so horrible. You could imagine the elderly can't tell you that they're hungry. It breaks my heart. And sometimes who really need the help don't get it. But we would still like, even if it's one person who needed it badly to get it, that they got it. You know, we're also going to give out Pampers. Once I have Pampers, it's a go. People get Pampers around the year. We're not just giving things on a day. It's only a day, but we are continuously putting our foot forward, because you can't always get what you want and don't ever give anything. It's a two-way thing. It's a relationship. To care, for me, is to love. And we have redefined the word care. It's no longer C-A-R-E, it's K-A-R-E. Our care comes with a to it. So when we give, or when we contribute, or when we raise awareness, or we do anything in a positive way, we are telling you, the public, that you don't have to have business with us for us to care about you. We know the needs because you have a leader that knows, sees firsthand the things that are happening. We have a wonderful team of people who not only want to do something about the issues that they have seen, but they are going in the homes of people. They too are risking their lives to help, just even if it's one person, to feel better about themselves and to know they don't have to die alone. If you die with your dignity intact, because that's what Care Nursing Agency ensures. That is not just a job, it's about a way of life. We don't just get up and care. We could train people to care. We could ask the family members to be extra supportive and loving, but it comes from in here. It's a God-given attribute. Some don't have it, you know, but that's okay. people can be taught. When they see the way you do things, they can also follow. And it's not anything hard, because like I said, it takes effort in anything we do anyway. And if you're gonna be good at anything, you continue practicing, and then eventually you'll become a master of it. So let's, from today guys, moving forward, let's think about all the ways we can help the elderly. It might not be you in the home, but it might be the neighbor who is more computer savvy or technologically inclined. Have him come over, of course, sanitize or wash your hands if possible, wear your mask, and teach the auntie, the uncle, the grandma, the cousin. Remember, aging is not for the ailed, bedridden persons, and even them can get a piece of the pie when you put up that nice TV and you put in what they like and eventually turn the channel and not like stick on the news all day. They don't want to hear about all the badness, they want to hear about some fun. And we want to create that atmosphere in the home. A lot of things are happening, a lot of people are working from home, a lot of businesses are in the house. Why not create the atmosphere for the elderly by making the digital life a new way of doing things? We are enjoying it, we have been enjoying it. Let's share now, it's time to share. Let's share the digital world with the elderly. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to call 665-1900 at any time, because we want to get people's mind active. You can't know if you didn't hear, and if you hear, you act upon it. We always hear things and we don't act upon it. You have to make a decision that from now going forward, the loved ones in your area, in your community, in your house that are aged and aging, not just old. We don't want to use old. Old is an old term. It's older persons now. It's not even so much elderly. We want to give it a nice ring to it, because people are 55 and older and can't walk, can't talk, can't move, can't help themselves. They are not 80 and 90. The 80 and 90-year-olds sometimes out there driving. So it's an aging thing. Let's come together as a community, as a federation, and help the aging persons, the older persons, to come away with a new way of doing things. Their way is always the right way most times, you know, but then we have a new way. The younger generation have a new way of twisting things. It don't necessarily mean it's the best way. It might be a bit easier, not necessarily better. How about we merge that too? The older way with technology. And you'll be surprised at what the older persons might find, or the advice. We might be doing things so wrong and we don't even know. How about hearing what somebody else's take on it is? And how about going to your nearest source, which is someone who is in your home right now, who is over 55 or 65 years old? It's only a question. You'll be shocked at the answers. I am, because I am learning. That's why I get my knowledge. My strength cometh from the Lord, but I get my knowledge from the elderly. They have been the source of my inspiration. When you sit with one, it's an honor. It is a privilege to listen to the stories, because they become lessons. They become a way of life for the listener who really cares. So as I said before, it's all about how you are in here. And as we reach out to persons in the community, moving forward for the October, the whole month is breast cancer month. So we will be bringing breast cancer awareness, but the whole of that month is celebrated every year, repeatedly. It's a month where you give back. Whatever little you can, giving back don't have to mean you have money. You can just make that glass of tea. You can just go over to the neighbor's house and say, you know, I know your mommy uses Pamper. What size she wear? Or if you already know the size, carry a pack. Get some crackers. Plant a flower, or ask them if they could plant some herbs. Put them in some pot. And tell them, listen, this is your job today. You water in these because this is for you. Carry some flowers. When last we give the elderly some flowers? When? Only when they die we buy the fake wreaths? It's okay to buy the fake wreaths when they're dead, but buy the live flowers now. Yes, spend some time buying some fruits and give them a nice arrangement of fruits, you know, to keep the vitamin C levels up naturally. Ask them to take a little drive, give them some vitamin D, take them to the beach. If they can't go in the water to soak, let the water come to them. Bring up some, try it on their foot. It's the little things. It always goes back to the little things. And in this situation that we are in now, we are not helping. We are creating havoc. And that's why people are dying quicker than they would have. Because they are not dying from an ailment, they are dying from depression, sadness, loneliness. Because we are not being creative about it. We can be creative when we are planning our own birthdays, and when we're planning a dinner, and when we want to go somewhere and we want to have a photo shoot. How can we not plan a little occasion for Granny? Why Granny can't have something different from the kitchen? Why you're giving her the same food every week? Change it up. Ask her what she likes. Remind her. Granny, you had used to like this. You want me to cook some? Get her input on things. And all of this would help us, believe it or not. It will make your work easier. It will make my work easier. It will make your life a little lighter. It will make my life a little lighter. And the overall effect we're going to have is a positive outcome for the elderly in this digital world. We are here. We can't fake it. It's happening. The digital world is here. Technology is here. It's either we use it wisely and safely and enjoy it, or we take advantage of it, or we don't use it at all. To not use it at all would be a disadvantage, because we can utilize technology to help us in so many ways. Let's share it with the elderly in a safe way, and let's be open to ideas and discussions about it, okay? Thank you for tuning in again with us, and we'll see you next time.